So, this may or may not be a controversial opinion, but I think it needs to be said anyway. So, here goes. The Foo Fighters have not made a decent record since Wasting Light over 10 years ago. Sonic Highways back in 2014 was decent. It had a couple of good songs on it. Something from Nothing, The Feast and the Famine, The Outside, Subterranean. Those are all cool songs, but if I'm going to be honest with myself, it took me over a year to finally appreciate this album for what it really was. Because what I heard on my first few listens was nothing but a bunch of reused, rehashed legacy riffs from bands like Black Sabbath and Dio, and just listen to some of those songs and you'll be able to pick them out for yourself. It felt really uninspired at the time. Concrete and Gold was just boring. I think I've listened to this entire album front to back maybe once. Medicine at Midnight, that came out just 2 years ago, exact same story. Really boring. I think I've listened to it all the way through maybe once. But here we are, the most recent album that just came out. As much as I want to love it, because I know that it is Dave Grohl's primal scream and just catharsis over the loss of their drummer and his best friend Taylor Hawkins, I just can't bring myself to love it because the mix is so terrible. Listen to the first song on the album, Rescued, and listen to the last song on the album, called Rest, and you'll see what I mean. There's basically no dynamic range across this record at all. Everything sounds super flat, super lifeless, there's no movement, and on many of the songs, the only thing that I can hear is the noise floor. I don't know if this is the fault of the mixing engineer, Mike Stent. I don't know if it's the fault of the mastering engineer, Randy Merrill. I don't know if it was a creative decision on Dave Grohl's part, whether he wanted it to sound this awful and gungy. But one of these guys needs to be fired because this is not a good sounding record. Sorry, not sorry. The best Foo Fighters records that we have gotten in the last 10 years are not even Foo Fighters records. They are the DGs, which is the Foo Fighters' attempt at making a disco Bee Gees cover album. And the other one is Dream Widow, where Dave Grohl decided to tell Pat Smear and the rest of his Foo Fighters bandmates to go and sit in the corner with their fidget spinners like a bunch of children and occupy themselves for a minute, while he went on and produced what might be one of the best death metal records of the last 2 or 3 years, all by himself. This is good, Dave. Weird shit is good. Do more weird shit. You're good at it. And don't get me wrong, I love the Foo Fighters. They have for a long time been one of my favorite bands, so don't come at me. But what Dave's been doing for the last 10 years, it's just not working for me. And I know that it's not working for a lot of you too.